Welcome to the Business Heartwide podcast, a podcast about courage, through which I invite you to discover and be inspired by the courage of wonderful people, entrepreneurs, and creators around the world. My name is Marie-Ève. I'm your host, and today I have the joy to introduce you to Tania Sheikh, who is an entrepreneur, an illustrator, a graphic designer, a collaborator, and a friend. I'm so glad to have you as a guest today, Tania. Thank you for saying yes.
Hi, Marie-Ève. Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited to speak with you today.
Yes. So Tania and I have been collaborating together for a year now. She created all of the visuals, illustrations, and design for this podcast. That's why I'm so happy to have the opportunity to share with you her courage story that she's going to share with us today. So, Tania, you are born in England, born in Leeds, the city named Leeds, and but you are now living in London. So for the people who knows that I'm from Canada, we met through a website a year ago. So this website is called b2bmatch.com. It's a global networking platform for entrepreneurs, small and medium businesses around the world. So that's how we met. I was looking to meet other entrepreneurs, collaborators around the world. She was looking for the same, and this is through that platform that we met. So I recommend it to you if you are looking to meet other people. So we never met in person, Tania, until last May 2022. In a completely unexpected opportunity. We had this opportunity to meet, and we had the time for a cup of tea in London, which is for me was a dream come true. So I'm happy about that. And for those of you who are members of the private Facebook group, you may have heard about this situation, why I was in London for one day in an unexpected way. So, or if you're not a member, I invite you to join it and you will know about the story. So now let's talk about your story, Tania. So you are a graphic designer, as we said, and an illustrator, but before that, you had a completely different life. So you did not study graphic design at first. You have an economic degree, and before that, you also work in a very corporate job as a management consultant for a couple of years. And then one day you woke up and you felt it was time to change your life. So we're going to go through that story in a couple of minutes. But first, would you share with us today who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about?
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much for the intro. So at the moment, I'm a freelance graphic designer and illustrator. I'm based in London, as you said, and I work often with smaller businesses or individuals like yourself. And I really enjoy doing a lot of sort of branding projects, like I've done with Radiant Shine Online, and kind of working from the beginning and end to end, and really getting to know the individual and the business, and understanding what their values are and how to reflect that visually. And so I really enjoyed doing the work with you, like you mentioned. And yeah, so that's the kind of stuff I do, just graphic design work and illustration and branding projects.
Yes, and I'm gonna add to that that I really love to work with you because on the first time we met, and I share with you my vision, what I wanted to do, what I wanted to create, I felt instantly that you were not just listening to my words with your mind. You were I could feel that you were like also feeling the words, you were feeling what I was sharing, and like you were reading invisible information somewhere. And I could feel that your whole being was processing what I was saying, but also what you were feeling. And when I felt that, I was like, this is the one. This is the artist I want to work with, because when we create something, we have a vision, but this thing or this logo or the illustration, it doesn't exist like at first. So it's very hard, or at least for me, I'm not a graphic designer, so it's hard for me to explain my vision of something. And also, I really appreciate to work with you, because you work on another level too. You really feel the universe of the person or the business you're working with, and so that create exceptional work. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I think it's related to your courage story, because maybe we can start to share with that, because you had no plan. Basically, you were working as a management consultant, and you always been creative, naturally creative, as you said, as you share with me, but you never did graphic design or illustration before. So you just left your job without any plan, but somewhere you knew inside of you that it was the path to follow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was definitely a tough decision, and it's had its ups and downs for sure. But I think, like you said, like I always knew I was like very interested in the creative space. I studied economics at university, and then I just went down this path of working in the corporate world, and management consulting was great. And I learned such a wealth of skills. But then I kind of began to realize that you know, the impact and the power that design can have on businesses, as I kind of touched on it through various different aspects of my work in management consulting. And then that's what kind of made me realize that maybe I should go back to those creative roots. And I just decided that, you know, I should just go for it. It was the middle of the pandemic, and I had a chance to reflect on what I really wanted out of my career. So I made the decision, I just went for it. It was really tough because I didn't really have a proper plan. I made the decision to leave, and I knew I wanted to move into the creative space, but I didn't know what exactly that looked like. And I think that was quite tough for me personally, because I find that I really need structure in my life, and forward planning, and knowing what the next few years are going to bring. And so this was kind of leaving everything open, and I didn't know what the next few months or the next few years were going to bring. But I think it was just kind of, I had to trust in myself and see where the journey led me. And yeah, it's been really good so far. And I really liked what you said about the invisible things when you were talking about the work, that when you asking me to do some of the work for you. I think it's so important, because a lot of people who aren't naturally very creative, it's so hard to articulate sometimes what you have in your mind and what you want to visualize. And I think that's why it's so important to get to know the person that you're connecting with, and really understand where they're coming from, and try and understand their vision, and understand them as a person, understand their business, because that's all going to help you to better create their vision and what they're trying to imagine for their business or whatever it is. And I think that's what kind of drew me into doing freelance design, was I really liked that kind of connecting with people, and forming that kind of relationship and really getting to understand the business and creating something from that was what I really enjoyed. So that's how I then moved into freelance.
And so what happened next? I mean, you took that decision, you took a leap of faith, but then what happened? What was the next step or the next situation that happened? Or
so I left my job, and then I decided to do a really great graphic design course, which was at Shillington in London. That was for a few months. And then after that, I was in a really kind of a difficult space because I wasn't sure what to do next, really. And I really liked the flexibility of working for myself and being able to freelance. But that was quite a hard decision for me to make because I had always worked full time. And like I said, like I'd had this structure, and it's a sense of security. You've got a support network, you've got a team that you're working with. So that kind of would have been the easier choice for me to make. But I then just decided to take the plunge and take another leap of faith and kind of start freelancing. And I think what kind of led me to that decision was just the fact that I was kind of trusting in myself and my own abilities to push myself a little bit more and trying to push myself creatively. Like I said, I wanted to work with individuals and businesses directly, and freelancing gave me the opportunity to do that. So I was thinking about what I'm going to really enjoy and trying to just use that to follow that route.
And how did you meet your first clients?
I'm trying to remember, actually. I think I started reaching out to a lot of people, any sort of connections I had, and even people I didn't know, and businesses that I really liked. I was kind of researching areas that I would enjoy working in and people that I would enjoy working with, and thinking about where my skill sets lied. And so I did a lot of just contacting loads of people and seeing where it led to and trying to form these relationships. And then that's how I kind of came across my first few clients. But it definitely took a lot of work, and I had to really stick with it and kind of have the patience with it, because it does take a while.
Yeah, so of course you had to go out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And be patient also. But I feel like once you took that decision, everything was kind of naturally progressing, I would say.
Yeah, like I think the thing is I knew that I'd made this decision and moved into this creative space, and that was such a big move that I knew I had to just go with it and put everything into it. So like you're saying, that it just kind of came naturally after that, and I just had to keep pushing myself and going with it.
And do you have any I don't know, like a kind of personal practice, or how do you do to stay connected to that courage, or to that intuition, or to that sense of, okay, I have to follow what makes sense for me, what vibrates inside of me, what I like, instead of the security of something external, or like a job, or something.
Yeah. So, I think I kind of like now currently when I face those kind of situations, I think back to the place I was in before I left my job, and the kind of feelings that I had and what I wanted to pursue out of my career. And I think back to that moment and think, okay, at that point, I just wanted to take this leap of faith. And so now when I face those kind of decisions, I think to myself, okay, well, I did that, and I try and use that as, you know, this is how far I've come since then, and remind myself that you know, of what I've achieved so far, to instill a little bit of confidence. And that helps you to kind of be able to push yourself a bit more and take another leap of faith. because if I've come this far, I can go a little bit further.
And so would you go back? Are you happy today with the choice that you made, your life and all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm definitely happy. I'm enjoying what I do so much more. I think that's so important, because if you're enjoying what you do, even though you face challenges and difficult periods, because it's something that you've got a passion for, you're going to keep pushing yourself, and you're going to have that drive and the motivation to keep going with it.
Yeah.
So I definitely don't have any regrets. Even when things get difficult, I'm always glad that I made this decision and that I'm doing something that I enjoy. And that's going to mean that when I am working with clients, I'm doing the best work that I can do, because it's something that I'm passionate about, and that will reflect in my work.
Thank you for sharing your story. It's so inspiring. Would you have a message to share with people, or maybe people who are thinking now about changing careers, or changing the life path they are experiencing right now? Would you have any message to share with them?
Yeah, I think you have to try and think about how you're going to feel maybe in a couple of years' time, maybe in 5 years' time. If you were still in the position that you're in now, would you be happy with where you are? Or, and that will kind of help you put things into perspective and reflect on how your future self might feel. And I think also to remember that even though these kind of transitions can be really difficult, I think it's so important to remember that it's a journey, and you have to try and enjoy that journey as well, because that's all part of the process, and there's always ups and downs for everyone. But I think as long as you trust in yourself and have faith in yourself, and remember that it is a journey, and it's always going to be have its ups and downs. And
Yes, because anyways, like staying in a job that we don't like is also difficult. So it's just about which kind of difficult situation or uncomfort I'm ready to experience. So
very true.
The
uncomfortable situations will create growth. That's how you will evolve and grow as a person. So I think that's important to remember as well.
Thank you for this dose of courage through your journey. So if people want to know more about you, your business, or maybe contact you to create with you amazing designs and illustrations, they can go on your website, taniasheikh.com, and also your Instagram account. So I'm going to put the links below this video, and also on the businessheartwidepodcast.com website. I invite you to go visit Tania's Instagram account, her website too, but if you want to see what she creates, Instagram is a great place too. And if you want to contact her, you can contact her through our website. Your email is also on your website. So go on her website and you're going to have all the detail. Thank you so much, Tania.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to all of you for listening and watching this episode. If you love the experience, please feel free to share with this dose of courage with your friends, family, and social networks. And see you on the next episode of the Business Heartwide podcast.